No, I was first of all, you're happy to be there. I was playing in the biggest company, the place everyone wants to be, so I was there. And my role, I knew what my role was. There was the nation, and there was the for lack of a term, the lynch mob that walked with the nation, and none of those guys that were in that there could actually. All of them were literally legit friends of Clarence Thomas, or Clarence Mason, Clarence Thomas, not Chief Justice, Clarence Mason. And so they needed a guy who could bump because those guys were getting heat on the floor, but no one could ever get it back to them. So Cornette suggested me being the guy who could go in there and bump. So I knew what my role was, and then all it was whenever I was given an opportunity, I wanted to make it the best moment I had. And that's why when I took the Purple Pleasures off the car, if I got thrown through a table, whatever it was, I was going to do it so well that I was going to get someone's attention. And that's just what you're taught to do is just whenever you're given 3 seconds, make it the most important 3 seconds on the show. And so I knew what my role was, and I knew what I wanted to do. I was working for the job I wanted, not the one I had. And eventually, within a few months, they started putting me on house shows and having me wrestle on house shows, not on TV yet. And then within 6 months, I was on TV. That's when Ron fired the rest of the nation and kept me, and we went from there.
Definitely, and that group, kind of just circling back just for a second, but that group was great at that point because obviously, WCW versus WWF is going on, and there's a whole Monday Night War. But the war between the Nation, Domination, and Ahmed really was kind of at a fever pitch. I just remember how over Ahmed was and how the crowd really hated Farouk and you guys. Were you kind of feeling that every night? Were you feeling that, wow, Ahmed is really over, but I don't know if everyone's kind of getting that.
No, Ahmed was over. There was a point when he was definitely one of the top stars in the company, and the people loved him. And, yeah, it was so cool to be out there feeling that every night. Just playing opposite of someone who's over by default. We had heat. We had good heat because we're beating up on this guy that everybody loves. So every time you touched him, you could feel the heat and feel it grow. And it was very enjoyable to be out there. And, you look up and you're beating up Ahmed Johnson in Madison Square Garden going, damn, I remember sitting in the crowd here, but you're out there doing it, and this is New York where they're giving it to you, and it was very, very fun.
Now, you mentioned, obviously, Ron, Farouk, fired, crushed, Savio, PG-13, and they kind of revamped the nation with yourself, Mark Henry, and then, of course, The Rock. Did you like the new version of the nation better than that kind of other thrown-together version of it? I like every version of the nation, but, that was more like Nation 2.0. We went younger and more aggressive to me. And that was kind of a reset because it was giving guys like myself and Mark Henry and even a guy like Rocky, who did not get over very well as Rocky Maivia, it gave 3 young guys an opportunity to be on the national and international stage and to show our stuff. And that to me was that probably is, if I could pick one, that's my favorite incarnation because just it gave us all the opportunity to get out there and show the world what we could do. And we're doing it at a time when like you said, there was the Monday Night War, so you're going, head to head with the rival company, and every segment, every minute is being, monitored and watched for ratings, and it was a joy to have that much trust put in you, and then go out there and perform. Yeah, it's a lot different then than it is now. Like, every segment matters. It's like, okay, the Nation of Domination is out there. We can't lose to WCW, whoever it might be, whether it be Hogan, NWO, or whoever's on it. The Nation has to perform. So I thought that was kind of a great showing. It was like, all right, like you said, you're going to get younger, you're going to get more aggressive. But what did you think about The Rock at that point? Failed as Rocky Maivia, huge success as The Rock. Did you kind of see him becoming this gigantic, huge, megastar?
No one can ever foresee him being this giant megastar, but you could see he was on the rise, and he fit very well and got very comfortable in the confines of the group of the Nation. And as a guy who traveled with him, I could see him practicing different promos and different inflections of his voice and just trying to refine himself over the course of the next few years. And then when he was given his opportunity to step out of the Nation and go on his own, he took off like a rocket. And no one can see, you know, if you're back in 1998 compared to now, if someone would have told me that Rocky would be not only one of the biggest names in wrestling, but he'd be the biggest guy in Hollywood right now, no, if I could have predicted that, I'd be worth $1 billion right now because I would have bet everything on it.